And what I really liked about the first time I watched it is some of the images, some of the scenes that my favorite scenes that I remembered it before I watched the second time are these. The first is the sinking of the ship, and when he's inside the ocean and he's watching that ship sink. That is the best ship sinking I have seen. Perhaps because it was in 3D, but it was amazing. It was excellent. That was the first thing, and you forget about time when you're watching a movie. If you forget the time and how long you're watching the movie, that means it's a really great experience. It was amazing. The next favorite scene is this one. It was a beautiful scene, and we see the lifeboat and the tiger is inside, and you don't know where the sky ends and the water begins. It's just a it's beautiful. And the third favorite scene is at night. He sees jellyfish and it's glowing. I guess there's some jellyfish that the jelly glows. I don't know. And there's a whale that comes out uh, of the water and crash. That was also beautiful. Although it didn't come out of the screen. I don't know why they didn't make it come out of the screen, but it was it was an amazing scene. So these are what stayed with me. And then he went and he found land and he got saved. Now at the end, it was just talking. It was the idea about the spiritual aspect of the movie, which I didn't. It flew over my head, and when I was watching the movie, it was just the spectacular. It was just the circus. It was just the amusement park aspect of the movie that I really loved. And at the end, they were talking what happened. mm, Do you believe in God now, or what story do you believe in? That was not. That was something that we just relaxed at the end. Uh, so now the second time I watched it, I noticed something that was interesting, because when you watch a movie for the second time, you have seen it for the first time. What you have seen is you have seen the credit and you have seen the titles, because when the movie starts and the movie ends, you have two parts, the introduction and the coda, where you see, who made the movie and everything. So when the movie ended, the first time I watched it, I noticed the title. So I have never heard about this guy. So this guy, Suraj Sharma, is Pi. So it's okay. So I have never heard about him. Irfan Khan, I have heard about him. I've seen movies that he did. This is the little Pi, Ayush Tandon, and this is the bigger Pi, younger Pi. Santosh Patel is Pi's dad. So I haven't heard about him. And there is Tabu, Pai's mother. I heard about him. And these are the main characters here. I was surprised that Gerard Depardieu, who is a very famous French actor, he agreed to do such a small part. He was 1 minute or 2 minute in the movie, so I guess it must have been important. The character that he plays a cook, he plays a bad guy. And the second time I watched it, certain things made more sense. So we see this is Pi Suraj Sharma, and he's a monkey. Okay. Next, we move on, and when Pi grows up, Irfan Khan, he's a zebra, but there was a zebra in the boat also. So okay, he's not a monkey, he's a zebra. And then Tabu Pai's mother, that's birds. Interesting. Okay, fine, that's birds. And this is the writer who asks for the story. So he's a pig. I don't know. It's pigs. And then Gerard Depardieu, the bad guy, the bad cook, okay. He's a bear. He's a he's an ulluk. Okay, that's interesting. So he's a bad guy. Then we have more monkeys. So this is the father. This is Pai's father, and this is young Pai. They're also monkey. Okay, fine. So I guess maybe they're both monkeys. They're alike. Then we have some elephants, and then we have this is the composer. So he's a pig and a hippo. I don't know what that means. Okay. Then snake is the visual effects. Be careful. Okay, that makes sense. Now after that, one thing was interesting, because since the voice at the background was a woman's voice, and the only main character woman is Pai's mother, and there were some similarities struck me. Pai and his mother, they're both vegetarians. His father and brother, they are non-vegetarians. So there's a similarity between Pi and his mother, and his father does not, uh, he's a rational person, and he doesn't believe in God, and Pai's mother believes in God. So that was interesting. And what struck me, so if this monkey and this bird image, then what came to me, the first image that was that actually I noticed this is the third time I watched it, because I noticed this the second time. It's interesting. So there's a monkey. I don't know what monkey is. This is anything that hangs in a tree is a monkey. Looks like a monkey. It's a monkey. Okay. Now we see there's a bird hovering around like a guardian angel, and this almost comes out of the screen. Maybe this is a pie and the mother is looking after him. And then it struck me, maybe the tiger is also some mother tiger. I don't know. Maybe, although the name is Richard Parker, but it was a misnomer. It was a mistake that they call him Richard Parker, because the person who got him, his name was Richard Parker. So maybe even the tiger is a mother character, because there was another shot where we have a bird and we see reflection of the tiger. I thought, so maybe the mother and the tiger and the boat, the tiger is in the boat. I don't know, maybe. And there were also some, because when I watched it the third time, another clue that I got, which I found was very interesting, was the writer is a monkey. I mean, when you see the name of the writer, Ian Martel, he's a monkey. And when you see the name of the screenwriter, he's also a monkey. So maybe I'm not that wrong. Maybe, Pai is a monkey, his father is a monkey, and his mother is a bird, and the tiger, I don't know. Maybe that's the visual metaphor they're trying to use. And it's fun. And you see, these movies are very expensive, and most of the, if a movie has a big budget, I really don't know what the budget of this movie is, or I have no idea. Uh, if the budget of a movie is, say, $100 million, or I don't know, maybe that's in today's standard, a $100 million blockbuster movie is a very cheap movie. Maybe $200 million is the budget of a movie. Now that's a lot of money. Now, if a movie is made up of $100 million, then you can assume they have to sell the movie. So half of this money is going to be used to make the movie, and the other half is going to the publicity, to tell people about the movie. It makes sense, because if a movie is very expensive, you have to spend money in the advertisement. You have to tell people how it is. And when you are making the movie, suppose you want to make a movie. Can you make a movie? Well, if it's $100 million, you cannot make a movie. So who makes a movie? Well, you see, the producer makes the movie. If there is of course, the director, he does all the job, and usually we give the credit of the movie. But this type of movie, which is such a big movie, you cannot just say I want to make a movie and make it. You have to be the producer to be agreeing with it. And I guess it makes sense if the director is sometimes hired. Usually for a movie like that, the director is hired. Someone says, hey, we want to make a movie like this, would you do the job? And the director says, okay, how much freedom do I have, or how much are you going to give me if a movie is a huge success, stuff like that. And people who are essential for the movie, you have to understand, they collaborate with the movie. They have to collaborate. So when you want to make a movie, you have to be the producer. You have to have money. Maybe you will hire yourself as a director, or you will hire some other director, so that it earns a lot of money. And I don't know how much money Life of Pi made, but I guess it has to be a big hit. So you have to hire a number of people who are going to put their contribution to the movie, and they have to somehow, this is a manipulative type of a medium. You have to manipulate the audience so that they're scared, or they laugh, or they have a good experience. In order to manipulate the movie, the master manipulator, or sort of a taste machine, that's the director. So the director is perhaps the first person to be hired by the producer. And when a movie is $100 million, there is no one producer. There are many producers. So then you have some important people. The people who records the movie, that's the cameraman. So I don't know whether they take offense to be called cameraman. Usually they're called cinematographer now. And you have the editor, the person who is ultimately making the movie. The editor who takes the sound and the image, joins them together to make a movie. So you see, if you say who's the best friend of the director, it has to be the editor, because he saves the movie. I don't know whether you can save a movie or not. It's the editor, and when you're shooting it, it's very difficult to shoot a movie, and that's the cameraman, friend, best friend one, best friend two. So this is the primary team. But this type of a movie, you cannot actually make the movie because it's a special effects movie. So you have to give credit to the special effects person. Whoever did that did a great job in this particular movie. Now, before you can move on to the cameraman and the editor, you have to need a screenplay, script. So here, often it starts with a book. Many times it happens, it starts with a book. And the script is written by the script writer. Script writer. Okay, right. I cannot write the writer. Script writer, that is the guy who makes it into a movie, and it has to have a structure like that, otherwise we'll be lost. I don't know, this is the most uh, acceptable structure, the 3-act structure, and that's how you start. Now once you're planning with the movie, you need the actors. Of course, you need the actors, and if they're famous actors, you pay most of the money to these people. So you don't like them very much. I don't know whether the directors like them very much. If a director is getting, suppose, $1 million, and if you have an actor who's getting $35 million, the director is not supposed to be very happy with the actor. Anyway, but this is a movie. Most of the money, I think, went to the special effects, department. Uh, I think all the money went to the special effects. It should go to the special effects because that's otherwise there's no movie. Anyway, and there are some people who are essential. One of them is the art director who makes, you know, art director who tells us what the set is going to be, what the color is going to be, and also they work very closely with the the costume maker. They also think about the color, and they talk with the art director how to deal with sets, how to build the sets, what clothes they should wear, and they also work together with the cameraman. That's how they should work together. You have to understand, it's like making a building. You cannot say that the architect makes the building. The architect designs the building. The architect tells everyone how the building should be made, but the building is actually made by different people. And you have to make sure that the carpentry and plumbing, everything is good, unless finally, so that you have a very good building and very good structure. So this is how it works. Let me give an example of how the art director might influence the movie. Now, the first time we see that Pi enters the church is white and the doors are blue, and Pi is wearing blue pants, and he goes into the church and he's drinking some water, and this some this old paint looks like a splash of water. This is job of the art director, I guess. And the color of the church and the doors, how it should be colored, and it should be researched, and he builds it. Costume, he discusses with the costume maker, and that's how it works, and they read the script. Now the next time, after he's convinced that the church is interesting and he wants to become a member of the church, he's covered more in blue, as if he's engulfed by the idea. And what happens, and that's how they work together. And also later, when you see the church or the mosque, they're both white outside. And if you notice the boat which is a lifeboat, which is like a church, I don't know, that is also white, and inside it's red, and stuff like that. These are the things that you have to decide when you want to make a movie, so that people are interested, and they also subconsciously perhaps uh, manipulate it is not the word, but that's how they work together. Another another, this could be the job of the art director. I don't know, maybe it's the idea of the director. It's hard to tell, but this could be the job of the art director. You see, this is an island, and the island looks like a person who's lying in a tomb. Isn't that interesting? So I noticed this is the third time I watched it, and it was pretty interesting because there are so many things in the movie you cannot notice everything in the first time you see it. This was also, I thought that was a good idea. It's a pretty neat idea.